the internet and the anonymity of the internet allows people to have just this tremendous self-righteousness, and they can jump on something, slam somebody for it, and then forget about it and move on to the next. And it's pretty traumatizing what's going on because it is a form of, well, no, I don't even want to say that word because I'll get slammed for it.
See, look how gingerly you're forced to tread. One of my best friends growing up, a black guy, told me. See how he qualified that he has a black friend right off the get-go? But no, literally, like my best friend growing up in England, we were talking about racism, and this is how he summed it up. He was like, if you're black, here's the thing. Racism is probably not as bad as you think it is. If you're white, it's worse than you think it is. And I was like, wow, that's a really, really insightful way to contextualize the whole situation. But it's tough, especially when people are ready to jump down your throat at all times, especially if you genuinely are a good-hearted person that's not looking to offend anyone. Like, I have no special connection to the stars and bars. Like I said, I associated it with the Dukes of Hazzard, and I don't think I've ever owned a piece of Dukes of Hazzard clothing with that on it. But if I did, I would probably not wear it out in the street at the moment, or at all ever moving forward, because there's a big brouhaha about it. And while I've never associated anything harmful to it in any way, shape, or form, I'm cognizant of the fact that there are people that do. But I don't know. We're treading on dangerous territory now, where people aren't giving others an opportunity to assimilate new information that's coming through. Like, if you're a guy that just thinks generally Dukes of Hazzard, I'm going to wear this shirt. Oh, and now I'm getting lynched.
But I think you have situation. To, when people, people were getting lynched literally, and that flag was one of the symbols of it. And I think once people's eyes get open to it, they go, oh, maybe there are millions of people out here that see this as something that is horrible, and we should be conscious of that because of the trauma that they've sustained throughout history that was imposed on them and what this symbol is. And maybe it doesn't mean that to us, but we have to look at what it means to other people, and maybe what it means to them outweighs, my corn dogs and beer and Dukes of Hazzard to me, which is I think very important to look at that. But people these days, it's like they just jump to whatever the furthest end of each pole is on something, and they will seek to defend it without even thinking as to why they are defending something, or they will seek to condemn something without thinking about it. And there is no good discussion that happens in the middle where you can see what people where something more moderate might take place and some thoughtfulness.
Yeah, no, I mean, and people just, I think you're absolutely right. People are so quick to jump to one side of the equation or the other and dig themselves in and be fully entrenched in their new way of thinking without ever having sort of like really engaged in dialogue, without having really considered it. Like, and I bring this up not because I think, some people should be like, well, it meant this to me when I was a kid, and therefore it means this to me now, and everybody else can, everyone else can get bent. I'm going to wear my General Lee t-shirt. It's more an example. It's more a case of, look, I'm in the news. I'm in, technically a part of the media. But there's many times where someone goes, oh, you didn't hear about this? And it was a reasonably big piece of news. It's something that there's a very good chance could have ended up on my show. But just because you get entrenched, you don't pay attention to what happens in every single news cycle. And if you've somehow managed to maintain a certain amount of obliviousness to what the latest thing is that, justifiably or not, has been deemed offensive to other people, you can blindly walk into a situation where people are going to chastise you, not because you had malice in your heart, but just because you didn't watch the news last week because you were, you were producing amateur theater in the foothills of the Himalayas like our friend Lee from The Moth, and you didn't have an internet connection, and you didn't know what the hell was going on. Anyways, let's roll through some more news, Funkhauser.
All right. Did I tell you people are freaking out because the new Spider-Man looks too young?
But just because he's young? Peter Parker was in high school.
Yeah, Peter Parker was in high school. And that's so much more important than the fact that everyone who's running for president is either a criminal or a lunatic. Go on.
Shia LaBeouf needed stitches after his head crashed through a window on a movie set.
Usually when I hear about other people in pain, specifically head wounds, I don't laugh. But with him, I don't know why.
He just did it. He just
did it. I'm going to go ahead and imagine that his head wasn't supposed to go through the window, but someone got mad and shoved it through, because that's the version of the story that makes me happy.
I like to think that it's an art piece.
Right, yeah. Just do it. Did you see that? Did you see that? Everyone saw it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was that thing where he made sort of like an upside-down Illuminati triangle around his junk with his hands?
He was just trying to do it. He was just telling you to do that. Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're really qualified to discuss the Shia.
The Shia. See,
I mean, the racism and the carbohydrates, where we can talk all we want, but I just don't know that we're qualified for this.
Well, as long as we're... Sorry. I was just going to say the Shia sounds like someone's Jewish grandmother hobbit going into battle against the orcs. The Shia!
Oh, gosh, I'm so offended.
See?
Let me Google Anti-Defamation League. Hey, what's the address here?
You have offended hobbits and Jewish people everywhere. Go on, moving right along.
Diddy says
we call them jobbits.
Oh, God. So Sam's Jewish. Concept 714, who comes on the show pretty often, is Hispanic. We need a black guy, and then we can have total joke-telling immunity on the show, and we can all have fun, and then dictate to other people what is correct and what is not. Yep.
We could do a pretty beautiful anti-forum with all of us together.
Yeah. Glad that we as three white guys have managed to figure this out. Go on, one more piece of news, Funkhauser.
Be like an episode of Bill Maher, except we like the huffing glue version of it.
Diddy says he's innocent
the huffing glue post.
Huffing glue
follow Sam Firestein on Twitter.
I've worked out with Diddy. I've watched him swing a kettlebell. There's nothing threatening about it.
And that is a story for next time. Thank you so much for joining us.